Is this one of those moments where you wish you'd rummage through your attic a little more thoroughly? Because for one lucky couple on Antiques Roadshow, a casual purchase from decades ago turned into a jaw-dropping, life-changing discovery right before their eyes. Get ready for a story that's equal parts heartwarming, tragic, and absolutely thrilling. From humble beginnings to artistic masterpieces, a rainy day revelation. Imagine the scene, the stunning Royal Botanic Garden in Edinburgh, a beautiful backdrop for the ever-popular Antiques Roadshow. The air is buzzing with anticipation, and experts are ready to uncover hidden treasures. But for BBC star and art expert Charlotte Riordan, it wasn't the sunshine she was hoping for, but rather the very thing most people try to avoid: raindrops. So I know that most of our production team has been praying that raindrops stay away today, Charlotte began, a warm smile gracing her face. But I was delighted to see these two paintings of droplets of water, so thank you very much for bringing them. Can you tell me how you came by the paintings? The couple, a charming duo, shared their story, and it's one many of us can relate to. My brother-in-law is French, and his first cousin was married to Kim, the artist, the wife explained, her eyes twinkling with memory. We met them when we were first married back in 1974. My sister said, "You really want to see his paintings. They're pretty special." I think we probably had no money at the time, but we bought two because we loved them. Can you feel it? That simple, unpretentious joy of buying something you genuinely love, not because of its potential value, but because it speaks to your soul. Little did they know this heartfelt connection would one day lead to an almost unbelievable revelation. The man behind the drops, a story of trauma, therapy, and triumph. Charlotte, with her expert eye and deep knowledge, was ready to dive into the fascinating history of the artist Kim Chang-shiel. And what a history it was. Kim Chang-shiel is Korean originally and was from unified Korea as it was at the time. In the north was where he was born. Sadly, he had to flee Korea during the communist regime taking hold. He actually served in the military during the Korean War, went to New York, and then eventually settled in Paris, which is where he began painting his raindrops. Think about that journey for a moment. Born in a unified Korea, forced to flee during a brutal regime, serving in a devastating war, and then finding refuge and artistic expression in a foreign land. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Charlotte then pointed out a small detail that might have seemed like a flaw, but in reality was a poetic echo of the artist's inspiration. There was a little bit of water damage to one of the canvases. But here's the kicker. It was actually a wet canvas in his studio that initially sparked his iconic raindrop motif. Imagine, the very thing that might detract from a painting's value for some was the catalyst for his genius. More than just droplets, a deeper meaning. Charlotte elaborated, "I believe that's also not uncommon for the school of Korean artists that he came from. A lot of them went in for this kind of very repetitious, obsessive kind of mark-making, and it's seen as being a kind of result of the trauma of the war that they experienced. That this was a therapy. This was something they used to get out of themselves, to erase traumatic memories. This is where the story takes on an even deeper emotional resonance. The meticulous, almost meditative act of painting countless water droplets was a form of self-healing, a way to process the unimaginable horrors of war. It reminds us that art isn't just about aesthetics. It can be a powerful tool for survival, for resilience, for reclaiming peace." As we can see, the works are both signed and dated, Charlotte continued, a hint of excitement in her voice. We think 1974 in both cases, which is just a couple of years after he discovered the raindrop. So already by this stage, he was a complete virtuoso at creating this amazing three-dimensional effect. The paintings, already decades old when the couple acquired them, were prime examples of his burgeoning mastery. He wasn't just painting, he was sculpting light and shadow with oil on canvas, creating an illusion so real you could almost feel the cool, wet drops. Kim Chang-shiel was an innovator, constantly experimenting with his craft. He mostly worked in oils on Hessian-like canvases, but he also ventured into other mediums. One of the paintings presented that day showcased his adventurous spirit, incorporating wood and sand glued to the canvas to create a sharp relief. This isn't just painting, it's a multi-sensory experience, adding another layer of depth and texture to his already mesmerizing work. Then came the bittersweet news. Charlotte shared that Kim Chang-shiel had passed away earlier that year at the age of 91. It was a poignant moment, a reminder of the artist's enduring legacy. He's had Parkinson's and was having to hold his hand steady by the end to paint these drops that he never stopped painting, Charlotte revealed, her voice filled with admiration. Imagine the sheer determination, the unwavering dedication to his art, even as his body began to betray him. He was truly a master who painted until his very last breath. He's a very, very well-regarded artist in Korea, she emphasized. He's considered one of their preeminent artists, and his career has thrived in America and France as well. His fame was not confined to his homeland. His unique vision resonated across continents. Now for the moment everyone waits for on Antiques Roadshow, the valuation. But first, a quick rewind to the couple's original purchase. When questioned how much they spent on the paintings, the wife confessed that, "We've talked about it, and I can't imagine we paid more than £150 each at the time." £150 each. Back in 1974, that was likely a considerable sum for a young, newly married couple. Yet it was a purchase made purely out of love for the art. If only we all had a crystal ball when we were art shopping. The unforgettable appraisal from £150 to a fortune. The tension in the air was palpable. Charlotte, with a knowing smile, was ready to deliver the news that would leave the couple and viewers at home absolutely stunned. This is exactly the kind of period that gets people particularly excited about his work, she began, building the suspense. And I can say that individually, possibly the piece with the sand would be worth a bit more, but they're probably worth at auction around £80,000 to £120,000 each in the current market. Upwards of that potentially, I think, for the sand piece. Can you hear the collective gasp across the nation? £80,000 to £120,000 each. That's a potential combined value of up to a staggering £240,000. The woman's reaction was priceless. She paused, her eyes bulging, and she managed a single incredulous word. Wow! Her husband, still reeling, admitted, "We actually thought you were going to say £2,000. Nope. Bit more than that, Charlotte replied, a beaming smile on her face. Her delight was genuine. It wasn't just about the money, but the joy of seeing such significant works by a revered artist. Love over lucre, a true collector's heart. In a world where value often dictates our choices, the couple's final reflection was perhaps the most beautiful part of the entire encounter. Despite the life-changing sum, the painting's owner stated that the appraisal wasn't going to change a thing for them. "I love them, and that's why we have them, and the value actually doesn't change anything," the owner reflected, her voice full of genuine affection. This is the heart of a true collector, isn't it? Someone who cherishes art for its intrinsic beauty, its story, and the connection it fosters, rather than merely its monetary worth. Then came the charming, relatable dilemma. The only problem is that we have 4 children, and I'm not sure we can cut them in half. A laugh-out-loud moment that perfectly encapsulated their grounded, loving approach to this extraordinary situation. This story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest treasures are found not through deliberate searching, but through simple acts of love and appreciation. It's a testament to the enduring power of art, the hidden stories it holds, and the incredible, life-altering surprises that can appear when you least expect them. What hidden gems might be lurking in your own home? Perhaps it's time for a closer look.